Okay, we're live. We're live. Hold on a second here. Let's go find something else here. Okay, we're live. We're live. Hold on a second here. Let's go find something else here. Okay, let me set this up here. Okay, look like we're in business. Looks like we are in business. I'm Angel number 7. Welcome to another edition of what we call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. And actually, I am really, really tired, but I did put out this notice that I would be here. So I'm here and I'm not going to stay a long time. I'm going to try to make this really, really quick and be done. But I do like spending time with you. You know, if anybody show up, I guess I'm not very popular. Y'all know I'm not very popular. So, you know, folks really don't want to come see me like that. It's all good. It's all good. I put this notice out here. I have been posting for a little while. And like I say, I just want to talk very briefly on this particular subject and really anything that you want to talk about. So the link is in the chat room. You want to come into the box and bring whatever you want to talk about, and we'll do that. I want to send a shout out to those who are on my Facebook. Let me check Facebook real quick. Make sure that's running right. Yeah, we're up and running on Facebook. 2 minutes in. Shout out to all the Facebook folks out there. If you want to join me on YouTube, the link is in the right there in the description box in Facebook also. Okay. So let's get this party started. Let me set this back up again. Well, to the point subject that we've chosen for these few minutes, the topic is Afrocentric, Black conscious teachings has caused a second mental death to these who are the descendants of slaves born in America. Now, I thought it was bad. And we all thought it was bad. Of course, all of us, well, most of us, not all of us, because some of us don't care. We are just living the life of a Negro. We are nonchalant, naive. It reminds me of animals waiting to go to slaughter. You know, chickens just do what chickens do. Cows just do what cows do until it's their turn to go into the slaughterhouse. And that's how it is with us living in America. We just do what we do until it's time for us, you know, because some of us will get slaughtered. That's why time does not, there's no amount of certain time that pretty soon it gets to the point where we must protest and complain because some of us must be slaughtered. But that is the situation that we were put in. And it seems as though we don't even want to get out of that position of being where somebody can put us into a slaughterhouse. And we just eventually just wait for the inevitable, you know, till it's our turn to be slaughtered. Slaughtered to the point where many say that Black men may have to be put on the what they call that, the endangered species list. I don't think brothers is that close to being extinct. There's a lot of us might be in prison somewhere, but yeah, as far as close to extinction, I don't think so. But I want to say and begin our conversation like this. I come from the same place that you come from. Most of us, many of us, we were raised in the Christian church. That's where I come from. I come from the Christian church. And then as a child, I was introduced to the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then I wanted to, and I was attracted to that religious faith. And of course, since that time, you have the Moorish Science Temple, you have the Hebrew Israelite Nation, and you have, of course, the teachings of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, and it's so many other things, you know, the Kemetic sciences, and it's just so much that we have adopted since that time. And when we speak of Nation of Islam teachings, when we speak of the Moorish Science Temple, when we speak of Kemetic sciences and philosophy, when we think about all these different things, it is called in a package Black conscious teachings. It's called in a package Afrocentric teachings. And what these things are, it was an attempt by our ancestors, by our forefathers, to give ourselves, because we come from slaves that had no real identity and no real culture, no real there was nothing that made us a people. So these were attempts to put us into some kind of alignment where we could call ourselves a people. We call ourselves Black or Hebrew or Moors or something to give us our identity. Unfortunately, none of these things worked. What happened was none of these things caused us to be or view ourselves as a people. What they did was cause division and cause what we call tribalism. So you have the Black Muslim tribe, the Christian tribe, the Moorish Science Temple tribe, the Kemetic tribe, and we still are in our tribes today. So we are not a people. We are just a group of persons with similar circumstance who are in tribes. We are not a people. And the Nation of Islam have their teachings. The Moorish Science Temple has their teachings. The Kemetic science, philosophy have their teachings. It's all about the teachings. These teachings are the Black supremacy teachings. The teachings is all about the teachings. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the teachings, the teachings. And just like regular religious doctrine, we will embrace or accept these teachings as actual facts. So of course, many of us reject what we got from the slave master. I don't want to believe in pink Jesus no more. And then you find out that Jesus is a Black man. And you're happy because now you can keep Jesus, now he's a Black man. Even though, and you just exempt the fact that it was your enemy that gave this person to you for a reason. But now Jesus is more acceptable, and you know the truth about Jesus because Jesus is Black. And you can accept Jesus because now he's Black. He was bad when he was white, but now that he's Black, that's a good thing. I wonder if is that proper thinking? Is that proper reasoning? So I come from that background. I come from the teachings. I was taught this, and we talk about Dr. Ben, and we talk about John Henry Clark. So, you know, may they rest in peace. And we talk about so many of our scholars, Amos Wilson, and so many of, I don't even know who all these people are. what's his name, Valentine, and what all these different persons. We are caught up in the teachings. I am taught. I do my research. And so since you do your research, see, that's the key. That's the key. I do my research. See, that what gives everything validity. That what makes everything credible, because I've done my research. I've read many books. See, I have my sister's info behind me, but many of you want to prove that you're smart. So you put a background of a whole lot of books. I read a lot of books. They say if you want to hide anything from a Negro, put it in a book. And that's true. Books is wonderful. I read many books. If I want to put some books behind me, I have some books. I can put books behind me. I'm not impressed. I'm really not impressed by books. Books are supposed to represent certain knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with knowledge. There's nothing wrong with books. The problem here is when we think that what somebody wrote in a book is 1000% correct. That's when your problems start. When you believe that what somebody, just because they put it in a book, it's right. Everything that is in a book is not right. Just because you put it in a book. Everything that is in a book is not knowledge. It is not understanding. And you know that yourself, because many of you, excuse me, many of you will talk about against the Bible. Well, that's a book. What's wrong with it? Well, the white man. Well, the white man, he's the one that wrote the book. The white man wrote it. So, yeah, and he tainted the book. But you say that if you want to hide something from a Negro, put in a book. Books is good. So the Bible is a book. So why do you want to reject it? And a lot of you believe in Jesus. You just calling him black. So what's wrong with the book? What's wrong with the book? We pick and choose. If everything in a book is right, why do you reject certain books? That's because human beings write books, and human beings can have flaw. Human beings can have error. Now, there are certain things that you can get out of a book that's good, like carpentry, learning how to fix a car and things of this nature. But when it comes to philosophy, when it comes to belief and things of this nature, and even history is written from the viewpoint of the victor. Remember that. History is not written from the side of the loser. I can guarantee you, when you look at the history of World War II, and most of us, we were taught the history of World War II from the vision, from the mind of America. I can guarantee you the history of World War II is much different from the, excuse me, from the viewpoint of the Japanese. I guarantee you that the Vietnam War is different from the side of the Vietnamese than the way that it was told on America. But when you read the book, see the book, you get a book, the book is going to tell you, if it was written by a Vietnamese person, it's going to tell you from the mindset of the Vietnamese person. And a book about World War II from an American is going to tell you the American side. They're going to be different. But there was only one war. But there's going to be two different ways of looking at that war. So history can be changed. And remember, most of our history is gotten from the viewpoint of the victor. Some of these people who were in history, you don't even know they even existed, because a lot of times when people are conquered, all their writings, everything about them is destroyed. And you even seen an attempt of that in Egypt when those guys was trying to tear up the pyramids. So this is where we make our mistake. Hey, brother Leon, and hey, brother Talib.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm on live with you. Yes, sir. On deck. Okay.
Yeah. And brother Leon is in the house, and we got Facebook and brother Leon. So we're just gonna try to roll here. The topic that we've chosen is African Black conscious teachings cause a second mental death. And I want to just try to put a foundation on here so we can start this conversation. And because we have to start the origins of this. See, this is what I want to tell people. See, I come from the same place that you come from. What is the origins of this Black conscious teaching? What is the origins of First Black? What is the genesis of African spirituality? Where is all this stuff coming from? This is your problem. Your problem is slavery. When you look at slavery, I don't care if you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you Kemetic, you RBG, or whatever you want to call yourself, your problem is going to be slavery. And the problem with slavery is this. For hundreds of years, not for 3 years, not for 10 years, for hundreds of years, our people, the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, and when I said dark skin, I mean from the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark. I said dark skin because you got a bunch of peckerwoods that's claiming that they were slaves. So just to make sure I'm not making no reference to them and they can't get in on what I'm talking about, I said with dark skin because they definitely don't have no dark skin. So they know I'm not talking about it. You can't get on board this soul train. Maybe you can get your ass on some other train, but on this train, you're not going to get on. I'm talking to the descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin. The so-called Negro, the African Americans, the colored, the people called Black folks. Your problem is for hundreds of years, our ancestors was not allowed to read and write. Problem. Your problem is for hundreds of years, our ancestors, not us, because we had it, our ancestors had no religion for hundreds of years. So I think this is how it went. I think for about over 100 years, our ancestors were not allowed to have any religion. And of course, until the end of slavery, there was laws against teaching a slave how to read and write. So we didn't have no religion, so that means you was not praising no gods or nothing for hundreds of years. Now all of a sudden, when you're able to get God, all of a sudden y'all God crazy. Oh Allah, oh Jesus, oh Muhammad, you just got to have a God. But for hundreds of years, our people was not allowed to have a God. And then when we did get God, the slave master decided to give us Jesus. That was the first introduction to religion that our ancestors had, was Jesus Christ. And of course, as y'all know, Jesus was painted as a Caucasian person and blah, blah. But that did not stop Nat Turner, because he took those teachings of Jesus Christ and became a rebel. Whether Jesus was white or what, Nat Turner became a rebel. It's according to how you look at your religion, how you view things. He didn't trip off whether Jesus was black or white. He didn't care. He said God gave him a sign. And he rebelled against his slave master. But Jesus was the first God introduction to religion. And then it wasn't really until, well, actually, a lot of us, our ancestors, they got their freedom, or they were put in positions where even as slaves, for some reason, they were allowed to read and write. We start researching, like y'all say. We began to read and do our own research. But of course, till after the Civil War, and we really had access to education, that's when we start kicking things up. We really start getting to the Bible and learn about Jesus. And we became more of a Christian than the slave master. And then later on, of course, we turned Jesus black. We feel real good now. See, that slave master told us a lie. He gave us Jesus, but Jesus was black. If he, if he gave you, you should question why he gave you Jesus, period. Brother, it don't make no difference now that you calling him black. Why did he give you Jesus to begin with? He's not your friend, but you're going to hold on to it. It's all right. And you're going to grab Jesus. But moving on. Hey there, dog, what's up? I got to try to make things entertaining for us. We don't like to listen to boring folks. We have to entertain folks.
Hey, brother, could I iterate something while you on that subject right there? I was just listening. I'm critiquing a brother, Ed Muhammad at Temple 15 down there in Atlanta, Georgia, where he was saying that Jesus, as well as the other unquote prophets like him, did not speak the white man's language, which was Greek, English, and Latin and all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do we know they even spoke any other languages when now information has been coming out, especially since social media and the internet, started appearing on the scene, that Jesus and these other fictitious characters such as Abraham and Moses didn't even exist.
Mm-hmm.
So now we got even a bigger problem here now. And to sit up and say that these people spoke these other languages like Hebraic, Aramaic, and all this other stuff, do it really matter? Because Negroes did not, nor has never spoke Aramaic.
Uh-huh.
Hebrew, Arabic. So what do that even have to do with anything concerning us, period, as dark-skinned descendants of slaves born in America when our ancestors didn't even speak those languages?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So my thing is this. Like you say, what basically does it matter? And how did Jesus come into play, like you say, in the first place? Mm-hmm. And why did he even come into play, to begin with? You can go on and continue, brother. I just want to,
true that.
Iterate that point there.
Yeah, true that. So, we got some problems. We got some problems here. And so we know for a fact there was no Black conscious Afrocentric teachings when there were slaves. When the slaves first, during slavery, there was no Afrocentric nothing. If you had religion, you was a Christian or nothing at all. This is a fact. And most of them was forced to be Christian. They was forced to be Christian. I'm very sure the slave master had them go to the church and they found a light-skinned brother to teach now remember, they could not read and write. So they had to copy and remember what the slave master taught them. Because they couldn't read the Bible for themselves. So they had to copy. Remember what how Massa won. They would hold the Bible in their hand, but they couldn't read and write. Remember that.
Let me add not to cut you off, but let me add another thing to this. Also, you say that some of our ancestors were Muslims who descended from Africa, right? Or who were unpoorly brought here, or however we're supposed to have been brought here, due to the Atlantic slave trade from West Africa or whatever. That was supposed to have been Muslims and brought the Quran here or whatever. Well, first of all, that Islam religion that they were supposed to be a part of or converted to was also by force, by way of slavery at the hands of Arab slave traders.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the help of, according to history, of Black Africans who participated in the Arab slave trade. So, either way you look at it, either whether it was Christianity and Islam, all that was forced upon us.
Yeah.
When you look at it in one whole nutshell.
Yeah.
It all come from, as a result of through the tool of slavery being forced upon us, as far as those religions were concerned. So all of a sudden, we get religious, we get holified,
yeah.
and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we ready to kill in the name of these religions, even more so, like you say, than a cracker. So I mean, it leads from nowhere to nowhere, basically. At the end of the day, we still find ourselves at the bottom of everybody else in this country. As far as a dark-skinned descendant of slaves born in America.
Well, my thing here, or the point I'm trying to make here, very simply is there was no Black conscious, Afrocentric, African spiritual. There was nothing during this period of time. For hundreds of years, there was nothing. There was nothing that you had to go on at all, period. There was nothing. This Afrocentric, Black conscious teaching stuff did not begin to happen or begin to form until really what? Until what? After the 1900s.
Until slave masters started making you have religion. You know what I'm saying? And then even after you learned about Christianity or from by way of the Bible, then as time went on, you start seeking out Islam teachings of this and that, and all of a sudden now these teachings were formulated into the Negro's own brand of Afrocentricity. You see what I'm saying? But before all that came into play, we wasn't nothing but plain dumb old slaves, picking cotton and sugar cane.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all. That's where it all boiled down to, and we still in our slave-like condition.
So okay, so basically, what I'm saying is, we didn't know nothing, and all the information when we do begin to learn how to read and write. What language? Who is our teacher? Who's teaching us how to read and write? Where are we getting our knowledge from? We're getting it from our slave master and their children. We learn English. We learn the science according to what they teach. All this is their teaching. Everything about us. The reason why we know about Jesus is because of them. Somebody's going to tell me, well, they got that from, you didn't get it from African. You got it from them. Everything about all these Afrocentric teachings and Kemetic, if you really, since y'all love to do research, do your own research, and then research all the way down to the beginning, to the origin. You're gonna find out that Caucasian people are at the root of it, or some foreigner from another country. just like the Nation of Islam. The teachers come from a foreigner. The Moorish Science Temple from a foreigner. None of this stuff y'all talk about is black. You talk about it's black this and Afrocentric this, but when you go down and look at the origins of where all this stuff come from, it comes from Caucasian people or foreigners, and the foreigners ain't black. The foreigners are not African. None of it is. That Kemetic stuff, the root of it is Egyptology. What do a slave know about Egypt? You ain't never been to no damn Egypt. Many of y'all never even left the town that you was born in. They never left the town they was born in, and they're going to tell me about Egypt. Negro, you don't even know what a 7-Eleven is in your town, let alone Kemetic. Are you serious? Right. They kill me with this stuff. Hebrew Israelites. Ain't nobody from Israel, no Hebrew taught you nothing. Nobody from Kemet. Matter of fact, even when it comes to Islam, you know, no African person, since Islam is supposed to be natural to us, that's, you know, according to the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, to that religious stuff, none of them taught you nothing. You got your Islam from a biracial foreign guy. That's where you got it from. So here you are, they're gonna tell me and get angry at me, you shame to be black, you don't want to be African. You didn't get none of your teachers from no African. You got all your teachers from foreigners or the Peckerwood himself. Matter of fact, black and African, there's no dark-skinned people on the planet that call themselves black or African or colored or Negro. All those are the label put on the people he kicked their ass. Just like if you kick somebody's ass and said, your name is no longer Talib, your name is Buckwheat. You know what I'm saying? So, and they're going to get angry at you because you don't want to accept black conscious teachers. You're not accepting. Those are not no real black conscious African spirituality. I've never met no person from the continent that talked about African spirituality. They would tell you about a specific religious system that they believe in. What is African spirituality? And whatever it was, it didn't stop the Caucasian, those Europeans, from kicking them people in the ass.
Exactly.
And all your Kemetic, all your Islam, all your stuff ain't stopping the Peckerwood from kicking you in your ass in 2019. The only thing you can sit on your ass is make videos and talk about how your spirit come out your body and you fly around, and I bet you your spirit don't fly out your body when you're on the white man's job. They're gonna tell me they know how what they call the astrophysicals. I forgot what they call that crap. Anyway, yo. Yeah, astral. They know about it in the chat room. Your spirit leave your body and you float around or some crap.
Yeah.
I bet you don't do all that floating. You don't do that floating on the white man's job, and I'm damn sure you don't do it in jail. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Don. Don, it's astral projection. Hey, Don, how come they don't do that astral projection stuff in jail?
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. When I was a member of the Nuwabians, the Nuwabians used to always say Dr. Malachi York's body was floating in and out of the jail cell. But far as I know, he's still in the penitentiary. How come he just couldn't levitate straight out the penitentiary? If his body was able to float out through an iron steel door cell, then his body should have been able to float completely up out that penitentiary. You see what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man, really?
And, you know, hey, and what's his name? Master Farad Muhammad's supposed to be God. They locked his ass up. He couldn't get out.
Right, exactly.
And Elijah Muhammad's supposed to be the messenger. He couldn't. He went to prison for I don't know how long. He couldn't get out either.
Right.
They gods and goddesses and all this kind of stuff. They can souls can fly out their body and do all this fantastical stuff.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Black conscious teachers for you. African spirituality, blackity black. Right. Woo! That's, you know.
Right.
You got to be joking. Are you serious?
Exactly.
And they actually think that you're supposed to take this stuff serious.
Right.
Peace Universal More. I see that I think he's in the chat room. I think he's in the room with me. You know, you can join the conversation, bro, when you want to.
Right.
But the point I want to make is we talking all this blackity black stuff and African stuff, and none of it is that at all. It's not even coming from those people at all.
Exactly.
You know, but this is the point I really want to make. Don, now I was tripping off that comment Don just wrote. He said, "Don't forget black people been around for 76 years."
Oh man.
They can only estimate that the earth only been around a few billion.
Right.
And they tell black folks been around for 76.
Right. If the earth, like you said, if the earth been around just only a few billion years, then how the hell people been around 76 trillion years, man?
They damn sure wasn't living on the earth. What the hell was they living?
Exactly.
And then they talk about this tribe of Shabazz. Hey, there's no archaeological evidence, nothing to support that there ever existed some tribe of Shabazz.
Right, exactly. Right.
And just like Brother Daniel says, the name Shabazz is not even Islamic. It's not even Islamic. It's Pakistan, you know, it's a Pakistan name.
Right.
It's not even an Arabic name. It's Pakistani.
Right.
That's something they use.
Right.
See, this is the thing about it. We embrace crap the same way that we embraced it pink Jesus. The slave master gave it to us, and we went with it.
And the Pakistanians, like the Indians, ain't even considered Arab. They're Hindus.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're part of the Hindu race.
Yeah, I forgot about the religion of Hinduism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with a person, and they believe in Jesus, but they believe in Jesus because they know that Jesus is black.
Right.
And I'm like, if it wasn't for the white man, you wouldn't even know you wouldn't know nothing about Jesus at all.
Right.
When it's all said and done, you still believe your slave master.
Exactly.
The only thing you've done is taking the stuff that you learned from your cracker slave master and built on it. All this stuff was built on what your master gave you because you have no other source.
Right.
If there's another source, people in the chat room, those on Facebook, those who will look at this video later, please put down in the comments, show a source other than or foreigners that gave you your information.
Hey, brother, excuse me for cutting you off. Hey, I'm gonna run out, but I'm gonna just keep me on speaker.
Yeah.
But I gotta run and make, and I'll be right back. But I'm gonna still be live on speaker, so I'm not hanging up.
Okay, all right, we cool. We cool. So yeah. So that's your biggest problem is that you are so high and mighty and know so much, and clearly you don't even know the origins of what you're talking about. This is something that Sarah Sutanseti and young Pharaoh need to teach, to bring. Because they're teaching the people like the source, the origins of what they're talking about come from somebody black or African, and it's not. Sarah Sudan said it, and young Pharaoh, since they like to expose people and they like to research, why don't they research the stuff that they're talking about? And let's see who was the real one, who really is behind what they're talking about. Is it an African? Are they black, some dark-skinned person? Or is it the white man?
Peace, Angel.
Hey, Universal Moore, what's going on?
Hey man, you're going on in quite the positive and fortuitous way, and I appreciate you, brother. You had me laughing a little bit, but you know, with what we're in touch with, things are just funny sometimes because it's just unbelievable how stupid, blind, and syncopantic lackeys people are, and you know, it just doesn't stop. And people are looking for a savior all the time. Save me this, save me that. And you have to save yourself where whatever venue you are, you know, whatever time period you are. All these Muslims fighting about Islam and fighting about this and fighting about that. Take them niggas, take them back 400 years to the mosque, to the church, to whatever, and they'll be killed immediately because they're blasphemers and fake. So if you can't do what you need to do as a positive force where you are, right where you are in the time that you are, then you're going to get caught up with people. You got to take what you need and move on. Take what's relevant and move on. And people not even interested into looking to see what's relevant. And it's just like young Pharaoh and Sarah Sutan Seti. You know, I've been to the temple. You know, I went to the Moorish Science Temple of America, so I know what they're about. You know, and it's basically not a religious thing, even though you have people that act religious that are in it, but it has absolutely nothing to do with religion. And if you ask a Moor, what is their religion? They'll tell you Islamism, and all that is just peace. If you understand peace, then you understand it comes in degrees. So you already got peace. It just comes in degrees, you know. So people out here, they want to cause harm. They want to cause these problems. They want to cause division by bringing people together, and that's what's going on. They're causing division by bringing people together for Christianity, bringing people together for Islam, bringing people together for democracy, bringing people together for conservatism, bringing people together for feminism. It's all the isms and ACs and all the organizations that people are joining, and they are so separated from their true self that it's no way that they can, you know, to get on the path. And when they finally get on the path, the grades have set in. They really have a larger picture than they've had 20, 30 years before, and they're angry and bitter because the things that they feel that they've been rightfully owed, that they worked for, have not been given to them, and they hate the youth. And they know that they have experience over the youth, which gives them a little bit more insight. However, the youth, you have to respect your elders. You know, even though all of the elders aren't bad or good, but if they're not doing anything to you and they're helping your cause, then you respect them for that. You know, they've been here longer than you. And see, you know, elders in the Moorish Science Temple, you got elders in the Nation of Islam, you got all of these different organizations that have been doing things, and you got these little whiny Negroes that just pop up out of nowhere. They got something to say about this, they got something to say about that, and they're walking contradictions because they have no real true knowledge itself. Because you had real true knowledge itself, is no need for you to rag on people. You just deal with the facts, and then I'll take it back for you, Angel Snup 7, the video that I made with that dude JT Riley, when he was talking about he don't like blacks terrorizing his own people, and then he does the same thing to you in the very same damn video. They're all walking contradictions. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I remember that was like 8 years ago or so, man. Like, you know, these Negroes are still doing the same thing, and they so-called conscious, but they fail. They fail, man. They fail every chance. you know, and you get the pro-black, black this, black that, black this, black that, blackity, black, the black. The whole time you talking English, you thinking English, you dreaming English, you got little dead white men's piled up in your pocket, you got all this black, but you just listen. If you accept the fact that you are who you are, and just like you've been used, you should be intelligent enough to use what is available to you to get ahead.
Right.
Period.
Right.
You ain't got to go to church to learn that. You know, you ain't got to go to the mosque to learn that. You do good business dealings with people because you got to do some kind of business to survive over here in the USA. You know, you got to do some kind of business. You know, and if you're not enterprising while you're here, you have some means of income, then, you know, you get caught up on some other stuff, and you just don't get that big payout or that big, you know, thing, that apple pie in the sky that everybody's been programmed to want. You just never going to get it. And see, people like you, people like me, a few other Moors I know, a few other brothers that came out of the Nation of Islam, but you know, you have to overcome things. You know, just like you're addicted for life. You got addicted. That's bull. We've forgotten how to overcome. We don't overcome nothing no more. We just, we're this, we're defeated, we're victims, but we cannot overcome. When you join a religion or you join an ideology, the purpose of that ideology is for you to advance and rise above it. If it's not accelerating you or elevating you or moving you up or promoting you or giving you some means of success, you need to leave it alone, because you're going to be stagnant and you're going to try to preserve this rotten piece of crap that you're aligning yourself with. I'm gonna stop, bro. I'm talking too much. You know what I'm talking about, man. I don't belong here, bro.
Hey, peace to you also, brother Daniel.
I think that's Universal Moore.
Oh yeah, he's Universal Moore, brother. Please.
Well, I tell you this. See, this is the thing that's wrong. There's good things in everything, but just like the brother was saying, we don't know how to separate the good from the bad. We don't know how to do that. I would say this. I want to make very perfectly clear about the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want to say this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings, he did not teach hate. I want to make that perfectly clear. This is the problem. The problem is, when I was 18 years old, 17, 18 years old or younger, the first time I heard the truth and the reality of what was happening to my people in this country, it made me mad as hell. And I'm telling you, I had a hatred for white folks. See, that's when I was 18, 19, whatever years old. I had a hatred. I was in the mosque or whatever. That's not Elijah Muhammad's teaching. But when I heard, but because of those teachings, and you know, of course, you know, it's about, and they still use that today. You know, emotionalism. You go to some of these brothers and sisters channel, that's all they talk about. The wrongs that we have to deal with day in and day out in this country, and they play on your emotion. But the reason why they mainly do that is so that you can donate to their Patreon account. That's why they want you emotional. That's why Tariq talks about, and a lot of these other suckers, they want you emotional. So when you all high and mighty, yeah, now what about that $20? Send to my Patreon account. Hit that button in the chat room and give me $20, $30. That's why they're doing that. But those teachings, when I was a young man, and I heard this truth for the first time, and how our people was treated in slavery and all like that, it just made me very, very angry. And, you know, I just hated, I had a severe hatred for white folk. It was to the point where if the right person had came to me, I probably would have done something really, really for real something really, really bad. I had a severe hatred. There was a Caucasian woman. I was registered to go to school, Flushing, New York, I believe it was. It was Queens College, I believe that's what it is. And I was going to register for classes, and it was this Caucasian woman in front of me, and I saw her stumbling, and I knew she was going to fall. But I had a hatred for white folks, and I knew she was gonna fall. I could have easily saved her. When she fell back, I could have easily grabbed her and kept her from falling. So the woman started falling back, and I just politely stepped out the way and let her hit the ground. That's how I felt about the whole thing, you know. And you know, after that happened to me, I sort of felt bad. I don't know why I felt bad, because I hate white folks. I was saying this to myself, you know. I was like, why do I feel bad? I hate white folks. Why do I care about this white woman hitting the damn ground? Because my conscience was telling me, you know, that was wrong, man. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. Because you have Caucasian people. If my mother was doing that, you would have had Caucasian people that would have grabbed my mother, would have let her hit the ground. So it's about what are these things doing to our mentality, and what these black conscious, Afrocentric, black first, unapologetically black, these different things, they cause us to have a warped sense of thinking. Because that woman that I let hit the ground, how do I know that she wasn't the mother of the judge that got me out the crazy house? And I let the woman hit the ground. But her daughter set me free, got me out of a bad situation. So these teachings, basically what I'm saying is these teachings causes us to have a warped sense of thinking. If I continued to have that type of thinking when I was locked up and didn't like Caucasian people, then I would not have been able to befriended this Caucasian woman that gave me law books, and she was able to be like a spy for me and tell me about things that these suckers was planning against me, so I could counter what they was doing if I hated white folks like that. And see, this is the thing about it. It goes back, I think, to what you was also saying, brother Universal Moore. We have to take advantage of the things that we're given. There are some Caucasian people, here we always talking about agents and spies. There are Caucasian people that will be happy to go in many places and spy for you if you want to know about something and bring the information back to you. But we so often to this fictional la fantasy world land. I mean, this is the thing about it. This is the way I look at it. If they use us to be a spy and an agent, how come we can't use them? How come we can't use them to go into places and learn certain things and bring the knowledge back to us like they do, like they pay our people off? Hell, don't you know, we have money also. There are many Caucasian people, you can pay them and they'll go and spy for you and get you what you want to know. So how come if they pay us to do that, how come we can't pay them? There's a lot of them would do that for you. We look at things in a crazy kind of manner. I'll give another example, like for today. It's a brother that wrote a post talking about, be proud. We are the children of the sun. You know, about black folks. You know, our ancestors are the children of the sun, or something to that effect. And I wrote him back. I said, bruh, all life on this planet is of the sun. You know what I'm saying? All life on this planet. If you take the sun out of the equation, all of us gonna die. All life belongs to the sun. And that's why ancient people worship the sun, because they understood the power of the sun. All of us, regardless to your skin color, all of us are children of the sun. We are the manifestation of the sun. You take the sun out, all of us would die. We need the sun. The plants will stop growing. This planet will go into nothingness. It's not going to say that this planet would not have life, because there's a lot of creatures right now that live under the ground. But see, another thing, just because you're not in the sun still don't mean that you're not dependent upon the sun. Because even though that you live underground like worms and a lot of other creatures and things that live in total darkness, they still get their substance and their life from whatever it comes indirectly from the sun. So we all, we all exist in our origin due to the sun. But they on that Afrocentric kick, like that's something special. I mean, everybody's part of the sun. Then you talk about the melanin and whatever. You know, I hear that. I know Caucasian people who can take the sun better than most black folks can. I know Caucasian people who can go out in the sun and stay out there for hours and hours and hours. You got Negroes who can barely be out in the sun for 5 minutes talking about, I need an air conditioner. And they black as hell. See, we get caught up in that fantasy, that fantasy teaching type stuff. It makes people not think right. There's Caucasian people that have been living in the desert for hundreds of years. They don't have no melanin. See, it gives us a warped sense of thinking. And that's what I don't like about these black conscious type thinking. It don't make us think properly. We're not thinking right. You know, we're gods and goddesses. Everybody can't be no queens and kings. Queens and kings was just for a specific group of people. The majority of people was just ordinary laymen, peasants, whatever. Everybody can't be no damn king and queen. And if you're a god and a goddess, why are you praying to God? Gods don't pray to gods. Why are you praying? Why are you spiritual? That don't even make any sense. Gods don't pray to gods. Gods don't serve God. You respect me?
Check this out, not to cut you off. And why do we all have the same red blood in our veins? You see what I'm saying? See, in these conscious Negroes always talking about, well, according to the Bible, going back to the same book, the slave master gave. Talking about what Paul say is different blood types. Beside that, mythological BS or whatever, you understand, the whole nutshell is, in the question, is why is our blood cells, why everybody's blood is red? Everybody bleed the same, like everybody doodle come out the same.
Yeah.
Do Caucasians manure come out any different than darker skinned people's manure? When you're talking about the color of the manure being concerned, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just throwing something like that for people to think on. I mean, you know, because these conscious teachings has our people really, you know what I'm saying, just walked out. I mean, to the point that it went to the level is, what meaning does it have when it comes to our liberation as a people? What any kind of connection does it have to our liberation?
Right.
I mean, it has even gotten to that point as of the question. Does it even have any real direct kind of connection to our people's liberation? See, when we start to get so intertwined, like you say, into the asteroid travel, the mother plane shit.
Forgot about the mother plane.
Stuff, you know, the celestial angelic beings and all this other crap. You know what I'm saying? That really took us off in the far, you know, fairy tale land. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made it a worse of death than Christianity did. You know.
Absolutely. I was reading a comment from Don. Don said, they're going to get you for dismantling their fantasies. That's what it is. It's fantasy teaching. It's not real. That stuff is not real.
Right.
It's feel good stuff. You might as well stay in church.
Right, exactly.
You know, if Malcolm X stayed in church, he probably wouldn't have got shot down. Because Christians, you know, Christians not known for doing stuff like that.
Hey brother, it's something you said that's real. There are fundamental differences and between us and white people, but there are fundamental differences between us and black people too.
Yeah.
So the thing is, there are physical characteristics that are separate us, and I mean that's just the effect.
Yeah, that's true.
We have melanin, they have melanin, and your melanin really does no good for you if you're not really in touch with it like you should be, or like you ought to be. And some white people are in touch with their melanocytes more than a lot of blacks are. That's why they need that air conditioning in the summertime, because they haven't even worked on their body's cooling system. And not to mention, the physical environment that we live in is not built for us to take the sun. All of the windows in the house are UV coated. All of the car windows are UV coated. You go in the building, it's UV. So your melanin kind of like turns off, and you prep your body's natural cooling system or energy exchange system to regress and not work at full potential. And it's just like the crabs in the barrel. They always pull themselves out when you pull one out, but when they're in their natural environment, they lock arms and cross and scour the sea to get where they need to be and migrate. And a lot of us are out of our natural minds. Now, the natural mind is another fundamental problem that I have with white people, but it's a certain kind of white person, because you have white people that are real, and then you have white people that are good repeaters, and they're just trained to react in certain ways in certain situations with black people instead of just being themselves. And that generalization of white people can be used with black people too. So it really comes down to what it is you can do for me and mine. And if you're not beneficial for me and mine, I don't see why I should waste my time. Because just like our blacks are fundamentally messed up, you got white people that are fundamentally messed up too. And they have these racial exchanges, and I stand by and I say, and if there's something that I can do, it's just is on the bounds of justice. Has nothing to do with race, because I'm already taking care of me and mine. So there's no need for me to project myself into something that is not going to be beneficial for me on some pro-black. I'm pro-self, because I'm self before I'm black. I'm self first. I'm me first. I don't let my color define me. I'm not proud to be black. I'm black and I'm proud. If I'm proud to be black, that means I'm proud of all the things Martin Luther King did, and all of the things that Malcolm X did, and all of the things that Barack Obama did. But I also have to be proud of that nigga that raped and molested all of those girls in that center. I also got to be proud of, I just taking on that is just too much. I'm me define my blackness, because I am that one that is that. And it is me to define that. In order to define that, I have to shut off all of these learned ideologies, everything. I have to come with my instructions, and I have to read my instructions. Squirrels do it. Roaches do it. They don't go to school to learn how to be a roach. You know what I'm saying? Like Syrian Jude said, the church can give you wisdom. Yeah, the church can give you wisdom if you have the capacity to partake it. If you have the capacity to understand it. If you don't have the capacity to understand it, then the church is just going to herd you in with the rest of the, the flock, the sheeple, the people who be controlled, and go out and get menial jobs and stagnate the rest of their life and get their good high feeling every week, every Sunday, their little oxytocin and their serotonin, kick, and go back to work and do, just live like cattle, come out, graze, and never really do anything. But we pro-black. We pro-black. That's pro-corny to me. You should be pro-self. We should be more interested in ourselves, in our own real estate, in our own heads, before we even try to align with people because they black. I don't align with people because they white. I align with you because you got something to do with my plan. And my plan is more into myself. So I don't see nothing wrong with me having the pursuit of my own happiness for my own survival. And if anybody got a problem with that, the Constitution says I can blast your ass for infringing on my natural God-given right. So, you know, it's just that simple. And I don't care if you white or black. Who's that peeping through my window? Pow! Nobody now. So it's just that simple. I'm not going to line myself with devils, period. The enemy. And the enemy is people who want to indoctrinate me with something that ain't myself. Because if it was myself, I don't need your indoctrination. We just know where to go. The birds don't go to school to reset their compass and say we all going to fly in formation like this. They just know what to do and know where to go. They are built and they're equipped with the tools to guide themselves. And that's wisdom. That's true wisdom. They can tell where north is before you can pull it up on your cell phone. So, you know, and they don't even know what the word north means. They just know where to go. They know where to go in their true being. You know, so I don't need nobody's religion. You know, if it's something that you have that's truth, if I'm dealing with truth, I should be able to identify that.
Yeah.
Because if it's in you and you have it, you can think about it. You can rethink about it. And when you recognize something, when you, again, cog to know, you know, you recognize something, it's because you have it in you in order to formulate and label what it is. But we dealing with labels, and labels deal with three-dimensional objects, physical things. And I'm not gonna lie, I know some people are fundamentally different. I know some people are psychologically different. They're sociologically different. They different genes, you know, because I get around even white people, you know, they smell different to me. White people smell different to me, and I was shocked because I did my little tests and I said they do smell different, but it's just a different physiological thing. And you know, and that's just what it is. And perhaps because we do have more melanin concentrated in our olfactory, that we can pick up on certain smells that are not like us easier than the smells that are like us. You know.
Hey, brother, could I say this? That's just like other animal species that smell different from one another.
Exactly.
Like a dog smell different than a cat.
Exactly.
And
the funny thing is, when you think about how things balance themselves on the earth, because I don't disagree with, you know, when they say the white man is the devil, because I don't take that literal. I take it literally. And I think people need to understand the difference that I'm making here is that, yeah, you do have some beings here that are your natural enemy. You know, and it's up to you to live in harmony with them, because we're all in the same jungle. We all have different things that we need to do in life. So in order to cooperate with each other, we deal with each other on the terms where we don't self-annihilate each other. Then we'll both be missing from the jungle, and then the whole jungle will fall apart. So if we can harmoniously work together, you know, then there's a balance. But right now they're winning because we're so lost. We're so lost, and it's more of them that know that they're supposed to conquer and take over. But I know that I'm supposed to live harmoniously. Now there's a conflict right there in itself. There's a polarization in itself. I want to live peacefully among all, and in order for these people to do that, look at their history. They want to conquer all to have their own degree and level of peace. I understand that. But there's the balance. We have to fight for that balance. We have to fight to bring that balance about. And it doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you disagree, you're on the wrong team. Then that means you're the enemy. And if you're the enemy, that translates into Shaitan, Satan. And that's all that is. Ain't no nigga with no red skin, no two big horns, breathing fire with a long tail. All that's fairy tale. All that is fairy tale. And if you don't have the wisdom to understand that language, to understand what these people are talking about at a church, you won't get that wisdom from that church. You won't get that understanding from that church. And see, that's the thing, man, that, you know, we so caught up with other people having having their real estate and taking up our real estate in our heads that we just don't know what is in our own head. We cling to all of these religions, cling to all of these ideologies, cling to all of this dumb social crap, and we get caught up so much that you can't see your way out because you don't even know that there's a way out and that you're supposed to go to it. So, you know, I think it's real serious, but at the same time, I can't help but laugh because it's so simple. You cross over and you see these things taking place, and you can only either do two things: get angry at the stupidity or laugh at it. You know, that's just the only two things that you can do, man. So I don't know, brother. We're progressing in the state because it's a lot more smarter people now. But I think we're polarizing because it's a lot more dumber people now. You know, 20 years ago, it's a lot more dumber people than it is now, bro. You know, like right now, we are really, you know, at a polarization. Like we got to be splitting apart, and one side's yay and the other side is nay, and that's good for change, revolution, evolution, and moving on. I think so, and myself, and the things that I'm doing, that you're doing, we're not aligning with these organizations. We are aligning with the truth that these organizations use to manipulate people with, and we're freeing people from that manipulate. I came. Thank you, babe. You know, that's in essence what we doing, man. And I'm going to do that till I die because to me, that's about bringing the balance. That's about bringing balance with knowledge without using guns and swords.
But I don't take that off the table. I always tell them physical confrontation, that's on the table. I don't take that. That's an option. It's always on the table. If other folks can put military action on it as an option, then I'm putting it. We need to put that on the table also. That should. And see, this is my thing too. See, a lot of us, some of us are very scary, and they talk about one thing we're gonna do is lose. First of all, you don't know whether or not you're gonna lose or not, and there's different ways of dealing with stuff more so than just, you know, guns and bombs and stuff like that. You can go to war. McDonald's is at war with Burger King right now. You know, the battle of the burgers. It's different ways of engaging war. But even, let's say, for instance, if we're talking about a physical confrontation, I would rather die and lose and let these suckers know I'm not nothing to play with than sit around here and plead and march and like, no. Because when I go to war with your happy ass, believe me, I'm gonna put a whooping on you. You ain't gonna want to do that again. It's simple as that. These suckers keep messing with us because there's no consequence. They can kill us. They can throw us in jail anytime they feel like they do whatever they want to, and there's no consequence. So you need to make, if it comes down to that, you need to show them there's going to be consequence now. You can die just like I can, sucker. You need to let them know that. But I want to say this in my conclusion, and you know, we can keep talking, but I want to say this. When I was locked up, I was pro-black. I was African, all that stuff these people talking about, I was that when I got locked up. Pro-black, blackity black, that's what I was when I got locked up. I was that pro-black type stuff. Nobody helped me. I contacted the Nation of Islam. They didn't help me. I contacted every black lawyer in the yellow pages. They didn't help me. The Urban League, the NAACP. I contacted all the black folks that I could think of. Nobody. They didn't even have the what's the word I'm looking for? But they didn't even send me a letter saying that they was not even interested or nothing. They just was silent, didn't say nothing. It was the fact that I was able to help Caucasian people and befriend Caucasian people. That's the reason why I was able to get out of my situation. Where was all this blackity black, pro-black, African black? Where was all this stuff when I was got locked up? Nobody helped me. They didn't help me when I got locked up, and they didn't help me when I got out either. This is what they did when I got out. You want to donate, brother? That's what they did when I got out. The Nation of Islam, you ready to join back again, brother? That's what they did when I got out. You better get the hell out of my face. What have this stuff, all this, it's thousands. Look, it's thousands and thousands of these people with this blackity black, African black conscious teaching stuff. It's thousands of them. They have not accomplished nothing. They have not done nothing since the time of Marcus Garvey. They've done nothing. They've accomplished nothing. Dr. King and the Civil Rights Movement changed different laws and policies. That was more of a benefit than anything this black power stuff has done. What have black power done for us? Nothing. Except feel-good rhetoric. You're a god. You're a goddess. You gonna die. You'll never die. You're gonna turn into a ball of gas and float in the universe forever. I probably work on my video tomorrow. But you know, Louis Farrakhan just proclaimed to be the Christ. He's the real Jesus of the Bible. And thousands of people is clapping. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So I just come to the conclusion, you know, that maybe we need to just start looking out for ourselves, those of us who have a little sense, because the only thing I can conclude is we are on our way to a mass grave. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And our young people are listening to these dumbass elders. They caught up like poor Brother Ben. You know, poor Brother Ben, you know, he done shook Farrakhan's hand and Farrakhan smiled at him. He's really caught now. He's really into, you know, he's really caught up in that madness. And when you listen to that speech, the first thing they ask about is money. And still talking about, are you going to donate to Farrakhan for his, you know, for a Savior's Day gift? Damn, how much money did you give him just to put on Savior's Day? You done gave this guy. And it's not enough. I guess he want to make sure after he's dead, his family really taken care of for a long, long time. Because Brother Ben's family not going to be taken care of. And all them brothers and sisters that's in the audience, their family's not going to be taken care of. You know, we caught up. This ain't nothing but the same old church garbage. Matter of fact, we would do better in the Christian church. To me, if we got to go that route, we would really do better in the Christian church. Because this pro-black stuff, they really out there in La La Land. They really. Have you ever heard some of them talking all that metaphysical stuff? I'm like, what? Have you ever seen? They get a chalkboard and they look like they're in a college class and they talking all this metaphysical. I said, what do you do with it? Like if you learning geometry and algebra, there's a place where you can learn that you actually use that mathematics.
Hey, I want to just say one thing, brother, before you close out. I just want to say this. Okay, me personally, if people say that the Caucasian is the devil, then in that case, well, since we are the original people on Earth far as woolly haired, dark-skinned people are concerned, so say the conscious community, where did they learn all their devilishment from? Where did the Caucasians learn how to be savage, learn how to be killers? You know, because I mean, from my understanding, you have tribes over there in the continent of Africa today, throughout the continent of Africa, that predates European colonialism altogether. And they practicing sadistic stuff like cutting out women's genitals so they won't be able to become impregnated and all that type of stuff, which is tribalism. People eating, other people's human flesh, which is part of tribalism tradition. Even Elijah Muhammad said there were uncivilized tribes in Africa. So, if we're the original people on Earth, where did the European learn all this from? and so then who does that make the first devils on the planet?
And then according to the teaching of Elijah Muhammad, and even according to science, they said that all life came from the first man was the original man in Africa. So all men come from that one original man. So if the white man is a devil, that means that devil was always in that black man to begin with.
I hear people say that homosexuality came from the European. Once again, if all this is happening, who did they learn this from? Especially let the nation tell it, and let even other organizations like the Nubians tell it that they created the white man. Right. Through a genetic process, or whatever the case is. Did you see what I'm saying? Where did the white man learn all they negative habits from? See, it goes like this. Just like even Malcolm X said when he started waking up to the hypocrisy of the Nation of Islam, it's like he said, he said, well, the white man in America is worse than any other white man on the planet Earth, including even the German. Okay? So that goes back to like Caucasians here in America. They react in dealing with black people in a certain way. As where somewhere in Europe, they are taught and trained to react to dealing with darker skinned people in another different way. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, just like you once said, all the European nations did not have nothing to do with the so-called slave trade. Right. You see what I'm saying? So, and that is a fact. So, even though they are benefiting as a whole from it to this day, but all of them originally did not have nothing to do with that. Right. So, my thing is this. When we use that terminology called the devil, we got to really take this to a whole nother different level and take it to the point of where the root of all it supposed to come from. Because the word like devil, and just like any other word, man came up with that. Right. So it wasn't no mysterious divine being from somewhere out in the cosmos that came up with this. Right. I'm just saying. Yeah. If you talk about, like we was talking about this before also, when you talk about the original man. Right. Remember now, we've been here for 76 trillion years. Right. You're the original man. Now, if you've been here for 76 trillion years, according to these according to these teachings or whatever, right? And you the original man, and you so great. Well, that means, common sense tell you, well, you had plenty of time to be the first man to do a whole lot of stuff. Meaning that you was the first person, the first people to, the first rapist, the first liar, the first slanderer. You did all this kind of stuff. Right. You did it first. So I wouldn't be bragging about being the original. And then on top of that, being the original still don't make you the best. And then if you go back to pre-European colonialism, as far as doing ancient civilizations like the dark-skinned Egyptian early civilizations of ancient times, not only did they conquer certain other parts of Africa, you know what I'm saying, like Ethiopia and so forth, but they also conquered other parts of Asia, like Syria, you know what I'm saying, Jordan, places like that. So was that now? What's different than that from colonialization? When you talk about the Moors who went up to Spain and you know what I'm saying, conquered Europe. Had they not been defeated by the Christians in Spain, they would have conquered the whole entire Europe. The whole entire Europe probably would have been Islamic right now. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a part of forcation when you forcing your beliefs on other groups of people.
Right, absolutely.
And that cross all color boundary lines at that point.
Yeah.
So
Brother Don said, you know, a man that came out of a cave about 6,000 years old, he took over a race of people that was 76 trillion years old. Dang. Hey, you know, when we was taught that, you know, when I was in the nation, I mean, didn't that ring a bell? Like, okay, we 76 trillion years old, and a cat that was a cave come out of the cave and just got to whooping your ass and took over. Everything you did for 76 trillion years don't mean nothing.
Nah.
Damn.
Not a damn thing. And by the way, listen, hold on. You say that the black man is supposed to have knowledge, even including the Egyptian dynasty, that whereas their societies and technology go back not only thousands of years ago, but that's supposed to have been more advanced trillions of years ago than the technology created by the Caucasian European.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then, like the brothers say, why was they able to come out the caves then? from you did what I'm saying 6,000 years ago to rule the rest of the planet. I mean, come on, it's just too many kinks in that.
Too much.
It's just too many kinks in that.
All of it is nothing but the usual. I mean, I can understand. See, look, when our ancestors come from out of slavery, and you know we've been done so bad, all these teachings was designed to make us feel good because we were nothing.
Right, exactly.
So here you are, a slave, getting your ass whooped. Here come Nation of Islam. You know you're a god. You're 76 trillion years old. We wore gold and silver in Africa and blah, blah, blah. They make you feel good about yourself.
Right.
But see, see, I don't need that no more.
Right.
I don't have to be a god to feel good about myself. I don't need to be talking about all this magical stuff to make me give me self-esteem. I don't need that. I'm very happy about being a child of a slave. I'm happy about the accomplishments that my ancestors were able to do, even though they were under this oppression.
Check this out. Like I heard the brother say earlier, and no disrespect, but like I heard the brother say earlier, when he said if he was proud to be black, then he'll have to be proud with everything that go along with what black people do, right? Okay, check this out then. Ask them folks in Chicago, the poor people in Chicago, where Mosque Mariam is, or where they Salam restaurant and other so-called businesses is located in Chicago, under the ownership of the Nation of Islam that Louis Farrakhan heads over. Ask them if they could go to them for a free plate of food, or if they could go to that mansion on the outskirts of Chicago that Farrakhan live in, and see what a response you get. And they'll probably even tell you that Farrakhan had they FY security sick on them niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even called the police on him because they tried to go to the doors of his mansion, knock on his door to ask for help. You understand me?
Now, I was in the Nation of Islam.
What the hell Farrakhan doing out there in the suburbs of Chicago, living among whiteys?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you were speaking on what's that female Cynthia G and them other people in the so-called conscious community. You know what you know what I mean? So I mean, come on. Even Elijah Muhammad stayed in that same mansion in the suburb that Farrakhan is living in.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm just saying.
Well,
but then they wanted to call people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Uncle Toms and sellouts, but they wanted to live among the poor.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk among the poor. Get out there in the streets. You understand? To suffer with the poor.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I was with Farrakhan for almost 9 years.
Yeah.
And 9 years now, I got nothing for free. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Out of 9 years, I got nothing for free. You know, they gave me a bean pie, but these was the misfits. You know, these were the bean pies that was probably half burned up or something like that.
Right.
They didn't give me nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Say they gave you a hand-me-down one.
Yeah, they gave me hand-me-down bean pie. You know, they gave me the bean pie where the sugar separated from the rest of the pie, laying all on the top, stuff like that.
Damn. What kind of true black brotherhood is that?
All praises due to Allah, brother.
I mean, you know, I ain't never seen no other group of people in this country, and I'm not gonna talk about somewhere what's going on in some land because I don't know nothing about that. All I understand is what's been happening here in America all my life. I see how other groups of people deal with each other here, besides the way we deal with each other.
Yeah.
And from what I see, when you want to talk about your main enemy is the white man, listen, and listen here. I can tell you some stories about what the Caucasian never did to me.
Yeah.
But as far as the words go, that other darker skinned people did or tried to do to me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, you know.
True that.
Yeah. So when we want to come down to that part, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I can really get technical. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, with that said, I'm tired. I'm ready to get out of here. Anybody had anything to say to wrap it up in conclusion here? We can move out of here. If not, I really do appreciate Brother Universal Moore being here with us today. I appreciate Brother Talib to be here on speakerphone with me here. And Syrian and Don and those in the chat room. If I missed somebody, those who are watching live, of course, on Facebook, I appreciate it. And brothers and sisters, you know, I'm not here to be a troublemaker or cause anybody no trouble. These things are important. We are, you know, we can believe whatever we want to believe, but you have to look at some of the things that we believe and we hold on to. And a lot of stuff to how we view things is causing problems. It's being detrimental to the number one priority. And the number one priority should be being liberated from an oppressor once and for all. So I suggest to us that the only real solution, brothers and sisters, is we have to get serious and work on what we call the Mississippi campaign, Operation Exodus Mississippi. And if we don't get serious on that, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to be one of these type of people. The only thing we do is sit around here and talk. I'm not about that. I'm not about just talking. But I don't have thousands and thousands of folks following me. I haven't took a dime from nobody or none of this. So, hey, I'm not going to sit around here and beg you to do nothing. I tell you about the Mississippi campaign. You want to help? That's cool. If you don't want to help, that's cool. I'm not going to sit around here and beg grown men and women to do nothing. I'm not going to beg. You know what's up. And if you want to gamble your life, that's your business. So it's up to us. If you want to do this campaign, I'll do it. You inspire me to do it. But if you don't want to do nothing, I'm not going to do nothing, because I'm not going to waste not one dime. I'm not going to waste my time trying to do something by myself. And then we're going to do the little red hen thing, and I get everything to going, and then all of a sudden, everybody come out the woodwork, and you think that you're going to benefit from my work. No, 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 no. I'll be doing my thing in Mexico or somewhere in Africa or somewhere else. I'm not going to share nothing with your lazy, happy ass. I ain't doing it.
Say that again, brother.
You know, I'm not sharing. I'm not going to do the work, and you think that you're going to come and get some of this pie. You want some pie? You better help bake it. You better help get it together.
Like John Africa used to say, the late John Africa, or John Africa movement out of Philly used to say, get in the mud with us then, if you really about this work.
Get in the mud. Time to get in the mud, people. And with that said, we are out of here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I was tired, but man, I wanted to talk to us this weekend. I just did. And tomorrow I'm going to try to get that. I want to try to analyze that Savior's Day speech by the new Christ Farrakhan. All right, y'all. As Dr. Cornelius always used to say to us, as important, I wish us love, peace, and soul. And we are off air.